Hi everyone, and welcome to the New World Norm video podcast. So far I've shared with you some great insights from around the world on double-digit growth potential, inventory management, women's empowerment, and the returning criminal activity to retail. Thank you all so much for your comments and suggestions you sent to me over the last few weeks. Your reaction has been amazing, and in the thousands of views, messages, comments and support you've given me to gather various insights from around the world that is relevant for the New World Norm. In this video podcast, I introduce you to my last guest for this season. In my junior loss prevention days, I met a great guy called James Butler, who I have kept in contact with for the last 17 years, as he's a great international recruitment specialist who is passionate about diversity and actively encourages clients to embrace a more diverse and inclusive approach to their recruitment.
Hey Tim, thank you very much for that kind introduction. As Tim said, my name's James. I run a recruitment firm focused on the security and investigative markets, based in the UK with a kind of global reach. There are three areas that Tim had asked me to cover, and they kind of tend to merge into one. The first was around this kind of new world norm of how we job hunt, of how we actually go out and find ourselves a job, and how do we promote our CV. Firstly, it's not about creating a catch-all CV anymore. You know, context is extremely important. We have to lead the horse to water from a talent acquisition perspective. So those that are successful are good at contextualizing their experience, position themselves as the real cure to the client's ailments, and provide metrics and measurables and reasonings behind why you should bring them on board. Social media has made us all very lazy. The easy apply button on LinkedIn is a case in point. Many people can apply for 30, 40 jobs a day. They can go back home and say, hey, it's not me, it's them, it's the market. You know, it's not my profile. It's not. The market actually, even in these peculiar times, is not that bad. People are still moving. There are organizations that are still progressing with searches. So please use LinkedIn, please use social media as a intelligence tool. Don't expect it to be the silver bullet. That's very, very important. I'd say the same applies to those looking to transfer. So those that have what they think are transferable skills, you have to have a compelling narrative behind why they are transferable skills. It's there's such a huge degree of subjectivity attached to two transferable skills. So whether you're coming from the public sector into the private sector, whether you're shifting within your organisation, there has to be a compelling narrative as to why you can do that. Go back through your role, look what you've achieved, and bring that to the surface and bring that to the fore. That's incredibly important. To give a bit of a feel for the market, there was a time when recruiters that do what I do had a bit of a monopoly on the market. It doesn't really happen anymore. Organisations have big internal talent acquisition teams, and whilst they're super bright, often very talented recruiters, they don't understand the landscape, the security landscape, or the investigative or loss prevention landscape. So it's very important that you're able to be found. An observation someone made to me a little while ago was, well, look, James, if they want to know more, they will ask. They simply won't. They will move on to the next option, the next candidate that's more effective at marketing their skills. My favourite question is around, is the final question, Tim. And you said that top talent might not have the same job title in the new role. Will this require recruiters to be more open to reviewing applicants' deeper skill sets? Gosh, absolutely. They will have to, but I think organisations might struggle a little. I believe the role of the security manager today is very different to what it was 5 years ago, and I believe that 5 or 6 years' time it'll be very different again. That's the change in landscape from a threat perspective, but it's also, as we see, cyber playing a much bigger part in organisations' risk profile. So I think those that can upskill themselves, really embrace convergence will be most successful. But I believe that you have to be a real marketeer when it comes to promoting yourself in this market. It's just very, very different. There are three types of kind of clients as I see it at the moment. Perhaps the first client is that client that has great faith in their processes, their due diligence processes, their interviewing processes, and they will hire without ever meeting anyone. You know, that's not a problem for them. The second, and I think it's the largest pot, if you will, of our clients, is very much those clients that will begin the process during COVID, during this lockdown period, but they will wait to see. They'll wait to have a face-to-face meeting at the end of the process. Be patient if you're involved in this process. It will happen. If people have gone to market during these times, you can be fairly sure they're serious about making that hire. So again, yes, it's about being innovative. It's also about being super patient. I think there's a proportion, maybe 10 or 15% of the market that simply won't ever come back. And that will roll into next year. So my overarching message to you guys is please stay positive. Please take the time to contextualize your approach to market. Do not think social media is the silver bullet, will solve everything. Use it as an intelligence tool and identify people in the business and speak to people. Pick the phone up, drop them an email. I hope that's useful. If you do anything else from me, I'm sure Tim will be able to share my contact details. And best of luck and stay safe.
Thanks, James, for sharing your insights to support others during this new world norm of active job hunting. James makes some good points that CVs will promote you with contextualization of your experience. He also offers a positive outlook that there are roles out there and more coming online. I think there is also a valuable note to recruiters that there is a need and a deeper requirement to understand transferable skills and not just previous job titles, since the market is going to have some great talent to choose from. James finishes very much about stay positive. There is no silver bullet. And I personally wish you all the very best of luck if you are currently navigating the marketplace for your next exciting role. 6 weeks ago, I decided to make these video podcasts with the one single view purpose of representing a positive perspective on the new world norm, as I, like many others, were becoming drawn to the negative news across media and various social media platforms. I really hope my efforts to change the negative to restore a balance of positive outlook has really helped you. Stay safe, be positive, and be ready for the new world norm.